Ben McKee, Patrick Brown, Go Vols 24/7 here on campus following Tennessee Media Day. Tennessee begins fall practice tomorrow, fall practice number 5 of the Josh Heupel era, which is hard to believe. There were quite the storylines to discuss this afternoon, as you can imagine. And the first one being Boo Carter, and the fact that Boo Carter is still, as of this recording, a Tennessee Volunteer.
Yeah, Josh Heupel said that he's still part of the team, but he made it clear that there are some things that he's going to have to do to sort of get back on the field, back in the good graces of the team. Didn't go into detail what that's going to be. Really made it sound like it's going to be almost like a day-to-day thing. I think one of his exact quotes was, "He's here now, and each day we'll just see what comes." So we don't know what the parameters are going to be, what he's going to have to do. That's all going to be handled internally. Heupel did a couple times talk about how he likes his team's leadership and the leadership council's involvement in this situation, having conversations with him as the head coach, having conversations with Boo Carter as well. So we'll just have to see. I mean, he's not dismissed, but he's not kind of back yet either. He's got to do some things to sort of get back on the team and back on the field to where he's playing. So we'll just have to see how he handles it. It seems to be now that the ball is in his court. He's got to handle the stuff that he's got to handle if he wants to play for Tennessee this season. But given everything that's happened, it seems like it's up to him, and he's got to go do it.
Yeah, he hasn't been kicked off, which is obviously good news if you are a Tennessee fan. And to add on to what you were saying, I think it's really going to be more about how his teammates receive how he is working back in their good graces, not as much as a Heupel decision, but do his teammates approve of him actually being back on the team and playing this season. So that is your latest Boo Carter update. The other availability update was about Jermon McCoy coming off of a torn ACL, and Josh Heupel simply said that there's no timetable there.
Yeah, Heupel mentioned there were benchmarks that he's going to have to hit sort of in the training room, just sort of, I guess, the late stages of the recovery process from that injury and getting back on the field. So we'll have to see what those are. We'll see what his involvement is tomorrow morning when we get out here. Is he on the bike? Is he working on the side? Is he doing any running? Sometimes we see injured players do that kind of stuff on the side with training staff, strength coaches, things of that nature. So we'll have to see what he's doing to see, maybe get a better gauge on what that is. But again, he's just going to sort of have to continue through the process. And sort of as we said all offseason, his return is going to come down to what his recovery process looks like. And he's still got at least a little bit of that to go.
Josh Heupel, the last noteworthy nugget from Josh Heupel today, no starting quarterback named the day before fall camp starts.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. I know.
Well, we'll see if there's one named, but I mean, I'm sure Heupel and Joey Halsey would love if they knew what their starting quarterback was now, tomorrow, in a week. But they want to see somebody go out there and earn it and show to the staff and show to their teammates and the rest of the offense that they're the guy. That's what they've got to see. So they're going to kind of throw it out there and let those guys chase it. Joey Aguilar, Jake Merklinger. George McIntyre is a part of it. I don't know that it's really realistic that he's going to be a huge factor, although he's got quite a bit of talent and I think has done well this offseason. I think it's sort of going to be between those two guys. But ultimately, it's hard for me and a lot of people to see Joey Aguilar's experience not ultimately winning him this job. But he's got to go out there and do it.
Yeah, and we spoke to all 3 quarterbacks today, so make sure you check out the site, Go Vols 24/7, for transcript stories on what the quarterbacks had to say about where they're at heading into the competition. I loved what Joey Halsey said about, and you mentioned this, but a guy needs to go out there and win the job. Not necessarily they didn't lose the job, but somebody go take it and earn it. And I think the way that you do that is what Joey said about you need to be aggressive in this offense as a quarterback, but you can't be reckless.
Yeah, and Joey Aguilar talked about too. Obviously, that's been a big talking point since he committed. Is wow, this guy threw 24 interceptions in 2 seasons in the Sun Belt. Tennessee's quarterbacks here have not thrown that many interceptions in 4 years under the staff. And I asked Joey Aguilar about that. Like, okay, how do you throw in less interceptions but still kind of keep who you are? Because that's, as a quarterback, you got to take some risks sometimes. And he says, he mentioned a Cam Ward quote about sometimes you can make a play, but sometimes you don't have to, right? You need to take the check down. And he just talked about making better decisions. And Aguilar talked quite a bit about his process, getting in here at 7:30 in the morning, leaving at 8 o'clock at night, maybe taking a day off here and there if the coaches were out of the office, but spending a lot of time here going through all the installs and all that. And obviously he and Merklinger have taken his teammates out to dinner, the offensive line, the wide receivers throughout the summer too. So he's put the work in this summer, now he's got to go prove it out there on the field.
And on the defensive side, Tim Banks spoke, and he seems really excited. He's an optimistic guy, but I felt like it was genuine in terms of his excitement about his group as a whole, and especially a couple of different positions. He lit up when he talked about Edris Farouk in the secondary, was excited to talk about Edwin Spillman in that linebacker room, said that just in terms of pure talent, it's the deepest they've been at linebacker. So there's some new pieces, but it looks like, and there's some major storylines in the secondary, obviously, but it seems like Tim Banks is genuinely excited about his group.
Yeah, they've got some things to figure out, particularly in the secondary with McCoy's situation, Boo's situation, that thing, those things. But they seem to like who they have, and they want to see some guys take some steps, and that'll start tomorrow when they hit the practice field.
They will. And in the meantime, you can check out GoVols247.com for all of our Media Day coverage. He's Patrick Brown. I'm Ben McKee.